Hello there, Ship Chaser here. I want to do a video, try to keep it short as I can here to go through kind of a demonstration of my process each week. I get into these chats with people from time to time where they're really taken aback by how many teams I manage. I do manage a lot of teams. See here by the look of my spreadsheet here, which is all kinds of convoluted and colorful. Let's see, these are the teams I manage. I have 65 teams that I'm managing this year. Most of them are on the FFPC platform. But with Monday Night Football rolling over last week, and now we're into the beginning of week 12, people ask me, like, how do you manage that many teams? Do you have burnout? Like, how do you, handle it all? And I mean, I do some basic tracking and management through spreadsheet use, but I also, take use of on the FFPC website. There's some bulk management tools that are helpful. But to give kind of a bird's eye picture of what I'm looking at here, there's some basic housekeeping at the beginning of the week that I'm going to start with. So it's a little bit later in the day right now on Tuesday, like 10:30 here in the West Coast, but I'm on vacation this week. Normally I'd get up at like 5:36. Just I naturally get up early and bang out as much of this as I can before work and before getting the day started. So to start with, I'm not going to explain all this, but I sort this by team name from A to Z, and then the league ID, blah blah blah, and the format. And this gives a little bit of a bird's eye view of what I'm looking at in terms of, I've got some leagues here that are not on the FFPC format. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these. Scott Fishbowl, a couple leagues I'm on full-time fantasy.com players profiler championship. Actually, these are FFPC teams right here. I have a co-owner with. I just have them sorted up here. So I guess only 7 teams that are not on FFPC. A couple of ESPN teams. These are my home leagues. MFL Dynasty. This is my only other Dynasty league that is not on FFPC. And then this is a kind of a friends league where we like specialty beers from our regions around the country. There's like 36 of us from all over the country. And the winners, like the prize pool is all beer. We ship beer to each other. It's my first year in the league, but looking forward to that one. So anyway, that's all my teams, okay? And first housekeeping thing I need to do is just get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, so start sit. That's, setting my lineups for the week and seeing what the picture is that I'm dealing with, how many issues I have. It's week 12 and there's no buys. So hopefully that means, my hardest decisions will be who to sit, not who to start. Hopefully, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to clear all this stuff out. These are all decisions I made last week. Since I write articles about some of this stuff, I'll put little notes and narratives around some of these things in case I want to talk about it. But these like red ones were decisions I made last week. Like I started Hurst instead of Palmer. Well, that didn't work out so good. I could write about that, but I actually toiled over starting Fields instead of Lamar Jackson, and ultimately started Lamar instead. And he did all right, and Fields didn't have a great game, but I mean, that's how much Fields is blown up, is that like you're actually having legitimate start-sit questions about him over people like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. It's like, wow, how did that happen? Another mistake, making Hurst over Palmer. Anyway, yeah, this one right here, this is one of my Football Guys Players Championship teams, which I have quite a few of. I made a note here. This is something to just keep aware of for myself. I think I have Fields as a quarterback, as my only quarterback. I think I dropped maybe Russell Wilson to pick up like McBride because I needed a tight end really bad. Anyway, I want to keep that note around just so I don't lose track of the fact that, hey, I need a quarterback in week 14, assuming I'm playing for the championship. Anyway, I'm going to zero all this out. Excuse me. This miscellaneous column is, again, it's kind of just notes about like pickups that I've made or trades that I've made. I might write about it later at some point. So now this is starting to look a bit cleaner. Um, there's a trade I'm looking to make with a guy right now. So if I have like pending offers out there or negotiations, I'll maybe make notes about that. Some of that probably needs updated right now because I have been making offers and stuff, but and I have a couple in my box as well. All right, let me clean up the color scheme here. The basic idea here is that I've already been kind of tracking like, are these teams, it's playoff status, right? Red, yellow, green. Green are either likely playoff teams or, on their way. There's a few of them that are probably locked, still playing for buys and such though. Yellow is the teams that are competing and need to get there. And red are teams that I've decided are basically dead. Those are mostly from the Football Guys Players Championship. If you don't know that format, 12-team leagues, only the top 4 make the playoffs, and the playoffs begin next week, being week 13. So in this format, in week 12 here coming up right now, this is the last week of the regular season, and so this is really the last chance, to claim your spot. Someone more $500,000 for first place if you can get to the big dance in weeks 15, 16, and 17. Anyway, for the purpose of sorting, I need to, in this housekeeping that I'm doing, I need to, these teams are dead. I'm still going to set lineups and do waivers and stuff and just, throw my best feet forward. Plus the toilet bowl has money available in it. There's consolation prizes and stuff, so I'm still going to compete. But they're not getting into these playoffs. And so I want to get these kind of sorted, put onto a lower priority. I think we're going at like 6 or 7 minutes right now. It's not really a ton of time yet. Plus I'm narrating. I don't care about the green and yellow right now. That's just kind of, it was useful for me like yesterday. It's not useful today. So I'm going to hide this column now. Come down here. Strategy. Oh yeah, some of my really good teams are. I just made a column for like kind of what strategy I had gone with. I did Kelsey early in that one, 0 running back, and this one Mystical. That's one of my better teams. Anchor running back, so forth. 0 running back out of the 7 spot. This was 0 running back out of the 3 spot. Not sure if anyway. I'm gonna hide that column. So again, just cleaning up my workspace basically is all this is. So 7-8 minutes of this. That's about it. And then again, these are just like notes. I don't need all that. All right. So these are my dynasty teams. I'm just going to do the FFPC stuff. I'm not going to like walk through all these other ones, but this would be part of the process. I would set my lineups for all these other teams on these other platforms. These other FFPC ones because I have a co-owner I work with. But it's kind of like a question of, do I want to start with my dynasty teams or do I want to start with my FFPC teams? In this case, I'm still setting this worksheet up. So I'm going to sort out all the red columns. Okay. Or not sort out, but I'm going to put them at the bottom. Oops, I didn't mean to filter it. I meant to sort it. Try it again. Sort by color, by red. Those are at the top. And just for cleanliness sake, I'm going to turn red off. Oh wait, I guess not. Do it the other way around. Turn. That might have worked. No. Oh, okay, that did work. Sorry, as I narrate this. Okay, so that's everything except the red ones. So these ones are either playoff teams are on their way. Now there's some dynasty teams here that are not playoff teams. Actually, most of them are though. But I'm gonna not worry about those right now. I'm gonna filter and turn off everything. So clear all these check marks. I'm gonna put just the ones. I'm gonna include this one with a co-owner of mine and anything that is the Football Guys Players Championship, FPC, or the main event. I've got one of those teams. So I'm gonna click those. this is how many teams I have that are competitive at the moment and that I need to work through on the FFPC website. Okay. They're sorted right now by the order of when I drafted them. Okay. And so then I'm going to just go over to the FFPC website. I'm going to drag, I have two monitors. You're not going to see this, but I'm going to, well, let's just start here. Let's do it this. I usually take advantage of both monitors, but here's my team list page. Okay, I'm gonna go to source Hori. And let's look at my lineup. Okay, it looks pretty decent. I like these guys, but let's look at bench players. Metcalf, it's somebody I probably want to go ahead and put in my lineup. Kenneth Walker is a guy I probably want to go ahead and put in my lineup. I got some other good options here. And I already am thinking to myself, okay, now I need to get on top of who's playing on Thanksgiving this week. I haven't even really looked at the schedule, but I see Dallas and New York. Here's one game. New England and Minnesota is the third game, it looks like. And Detroit and Buffalo is the early game. So that's convenient. I don't have to like go look at the website of the schedule. It's just all three games are right here. Okay, Detroit hosting Buffalo in the morning. Dallas hosting the Giants midday. And then Minnesota hosting the Patriots. Okay. Gosh, I don't know. I think Sanders might be the guy I want to bench. Throw in Ken Walker. Campbell, I'm gonna throw to my bench. CeeDee Lamb. Put Hopkins up there. Komet or Hurst or Knox. I'm probably gonna stick with Komet. He's kind of, they got a thing going right now with Fields. Might change that if if I get worried about Fields not playing. Okay, excuse me. So I got two flexes to fill. I like my kicker. I might stick with that. Yeah, the Rams might be going with a third quarterback this week. So KC defense is actually probably a sneaky pickup. It's probably available in a lot of wires. All right, so I got two flexes to fill. Yeah, DK Metcalf. That sounds about right. Paris Campbell's been doing well lately. Palmer obviously has been doing well. He's kind of exploding, and Mike Williams is not coming back soon. Having Keenan Allen there probably only helps the passing game overall. So my last flex there, it could be Palmer, it could be Campbell. I'd even throw Knox or Hurst in there in a pinch. I mean, I don't believe that Jamar Chase is going to be playing this week, but obviously if he did, that would be, priority. Dobbs isn't playing. Neither Sanders would be the other option, but I'm not sure yet. These other guys are the guys that I'm sure about. And so this is what I'm going to do on Source Hori. Come back to my spreadsheet. I'm going to say sorcery, start, sit, and I put everything in capitals. I'm just going to put flex. Okay. And I'll start with stuff that is sort of pending. Like I haven't made the decision yet. I put it in yellow. Waivers. I don't have a priority pickup from looking at the picture of what I was just doing on my start sit there, but I'm going to say BPA for best player available. Like that's how I want to approach waivers this week. Like look at what's out there, look at your opponents, because it's the last week of the regular season. Maybe you can rat screw your opponents by spending more waivers than them. Okay, so that's the note for that team. I've been at this for 15 minutes now, and so I need to be able to cruise through. This is the grinding part. Now I don't know that I want to narrate all this, but I'm going to look at one more here. Okay, Trashy Maggie. Also, for the sake of the fun of this, let's look at where I stand here. I'm 7-4. Going into week 12 right now, I am the 2 seed. At 7-4, there's a lot of 7-4 teams here. Second in points. I'm in a really strong spot, but I need to finish strong. Nothing's locked up yet. So right in the thick of it. Next one down, Trashy Maggie. Go ahead and look at that. I'm the number 1 seed. I'm number 1 in points. That's nice. Again, not locked up. Need to finish strong. But let's look at the start sit. Fields. Okay. Got a good backup in case he doesn't play. Barkley, Chubb. Kelsey, this is a good team. Claypool's not gonna more than likely be in my lineup. I'm gonna go ahead and promote Hopkins ahead of Burks. I like him there though. And what do we got? Metcalf. Yeah, we gotta get him in. Burks, even though he's kind of coming into his own right now, I'm gonna bench him just momentarily while I review this. Give it a quick once over. Rashad White's a guy I might throw in there. I actually have Samaje Perrin. I thought I saw word that maybe Mixon had a concussion. I haven't looked at the news yet, and that's something I should do right now too before I really continue. I'm probably going to pause this in a minute and come back when I get through this list. But anyway, Everett, don't know his status yet. Dallas defense is just like an auto start. I have them in a lot of spots. I'm happy about that. But yeah, Palmer, Burks, Perrin, even Rashad White. These are all guys that could be startable in this last flex spot. So I'm going to do the same thing. Best player available, flex, and that's done. So I am going to go kind of peruse the news a little bit. I've been at this for 15 minutes now or 16 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and hit pause on the video. I'm going to go read the news right now a bit, see, I'm sure there's some surprise stuff out there. Maybe not, but there always seems to be some injuries that popped up, so forth. And I'll continue through this and grind through this. And when I come back, you'll see the spreadsheet's been updated, and then I'll, go through all the other teams on my other rest of the list and so forth. But I mean, honestly, I'm sitting here and it's, I can get this whole list done over coffee in the morning before my wife and kids wake up. And, I've got my whole portfolio, like, from phase 1 to phase 2 in terms of this week, and sort of itinerary and routine for the management of all this. And then, the next step after getting all these start sit situations filled out is to then, make the relevant waiver claims. Some are going to be priorities, which I will notate in the spreadsheet. Some will be, I might not make any waiver claims on, a number of different teams, but that's the idea. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and I'll come back in a bit. Thanks. Okay, I am back on here, and make sure I'm sharing this correctly. Looks like I am. Look at my spreadsheet here. I've gone through a few more. I've been in a little bit more detail in my notes because of playoff scenarios. I want to see where I'm at. This Football Guys Players Championship format is convoluted to say the least. So the whole thing is that the top 4 seeds make the playoffs, which begin in week 13. So this is the last week, but let me show you this one league. This is my hormone therapy league. So these are the standings right now after week 11. Okay, I'm hormone therapy. I'm 6-5. I'm kind of just in the middle of the pack. Now this is quite the spread going into week 12. This is maybe the most close race I've ever seen coming out of the wire. This could go any number of ways, but you see the top 4 seeds, the 1, 3, and the 2 and the 4 down here. It's not a normal format. Some of you are familiar, but the 1 seed goes to the team with the best record, tiebreaker being total points scored. So this person, Web Slingers, has more points, so they would be the 1 seed if the playoffs began today. The 2 seed goes to the remaining team that has scored the most points. That's Big Becker at 1530. The 3 seed goes to the remaining team with the best record. No tiebreaker necessary because there's only 1 team at 7-4 that's left over. And the 4 seed goes to the remaining team with the most points right here. And I'm 18 points scored. I'm quite a ways back from the pace for being able to get into the playoffs through points. But there's a thin slice chance that if I finish at 7-5, and if these guys lose on the top 2, there's all kinds of tiebreaker scenarios that are in play. It's a long shot at best, but I just wanted to point that out because it's rare that you see the spread this close, both in terms of the points between some of the contenders as well as their records. Take you back to the previous team I was just working on, Heinous Magus, where I have the 1 seed locked up at 10-1. I could lose my matchup this week and it wouldn't matter. Also got the most points scored by quite a bit. But this guy down here, my Balzac hurts. You know, he's 5-6, but he would be in the playoffs right now with the 4 seed because he's scored a lot of points. So moving on, this is where I'm at right now. I'm going through the rest of my teams here. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it again. I just wanted to give that quick bird's eye view of what I'm looking at. So come back again in a little bit.